Hey everybody, it's Scott here at Extreme Performance Training Systems in Atlanta, Georgia. And in today's video, I'm actually going to be answering a question that I got on one of my social media pages regarding the performance of the tricep dip exercise. Now, since these videos that we've been doing have been talking about home-based training strategies, unless you have access to dip handles, I'm assuming that the question is referring to the bench dip. The bench dip is an exercise, I remember seeing Arnold doing these back in the day, but the bench dip is an exercise where you're going to be sitting on the bench with your hands behind you and you slide your hips up off the bench and you do a dip with the goal of stressing the tricep muscle. The problem with this exercise is it places a lot of stress on the shoulder, and this isn't really a great exercise if you've got bad shoulders. And even if you don't have bad shoulders, it does place a lot of unnecessary stress on the shoulders. The exercise that I'm referring to typically involves sitting on a bench. I'm just kind of using my plyo boxes here for the ease of filming the video. But typically what people do is they're going to sit on the end of the bench, they're going to put their hands at the edge of the bench, and then they're going to walk their feet forward so that they can get the hips off the bench. Now, some people will overload the exercise by propping their feet up on another bench or a chair, or they'll place some weights like some weight plates or something on their thighs just to create a little bit more load. But like I said, the exercise typically involves sitting at the edge of the bench, hands down on the edge, walk your feet out to get your hips up off the bench, and then you just do a dipping movement by bending the elbows to lower the hips down. Now you can use your legs to control the load of the exercise. The further you bring your feet, or the closer you bring your feet to you, you're going to get a little bit more assistance. The further you take them out or the higher you put them up, the more load you're putting on your hands. But like I said, this exercise involves cranking the arm behind the body and creating a lot of stress on that shoulder. And I've got pretty bad shoulders myself, and just doing that partial rep right there really kind of aggravated my shoulder. So what I want to do is show you an alternative to the standard bench dip, that if you don't have dip handles or dip bars at home, that you could maybe do this a little bit more safely and effectively. Now all you need are 2 benches or 2 chairs, and you can do this modified variation of the dip. So like I said, I'm just going to use my plyo boxes for just ease of the video here. But you just need 2 chairs or 2 benches that are going to be of equal height. And you want to set them up so that your hands are close to the body. You don't want to do dips with your hands out wide, because that's going to place a lot of stress on the shoulder as well. But typically, that's why you see a lot of dip bars that are kind of in the shape of a V, so you can get closer or wider depending on the size of your body. But what we're going to do with this variation is, once we get our benches or our chairs set up, and make sure they're going to support your weight too, that's important. But once we get our benches or chairs set up, this is going to allow us to do the dips with the hands in front of the body, not behind the body like in that standard bench dip. So this is going to place the hands in front of the body and not put all that stress on the shoulder joint while still providing a significant load on the triceps. So with this version of the bench dip, what you're going to do is actually put your feet behind you, not in front of you like you do on the bench dip. So the hips are going to stay behind the hand, and this is going to give us a better range of motion on the shoulder. That's not going to place as much stress on the shoulder. Now again, get up on your toes, bend the knees, put more of the load on your hands if you're pretty strong and you want more load out of this exercise. And if not, you can walk those feet in a little bit more and transition a little bit more of your weight onto your feet to take some of the load off the arms to make it a little bit easier. Now the load is going to be dictated by the number of reps that you're trying to hit, which is going to be specific for your training goal. But you just walk your feet out further if you want more stress on your arms. You just walk your feet in closer if you want less stress on your arms. And that's one way you can control your body weight to work with the exercises set and rep range that you're trying to do. But the key with this is to make sure that the hands are in front of the hips and that the chest is out over the hands as you're coming down, to keep the shoulder in a much safer position with less stress on the shoulder. The further we get the hips in front of the hands, like in the standard bench dips, the more stress we're going to have on the shoulder early on in the exercise. So it's either going to screw up the shoulder, or it's going to limit the range of motion that you can use. So most exercise, to get the most out of exercises, you want to make sure that you're working through a full range of motion. That's why I prefer this modified variation with the hands in front of the hips. It's going to allow me to go nice and deep, overloading the triceps with no stress on the shoulders. And even if you don't have access to benches, to chairs, anything you can use for this variation, just a simple close grip push-up is another good alternative that's going to shift a lot of the stress to the triceps if that's a specific muscle that you're trying to target. And also pairing these up, either these modified dips or close grip push-ups, pairing those up with some like banded push downs, something a little bit lighter that's a little bit more of an isolation exercise for the tricep is a great way to get some extra load on the triceps as well. So the big key with this, again, with this dip variation, I would avoid the traditional bench dip that places your hands behind your back, and I would try to come up with a setup, whether you're using 2 benches or 2 chairs, but something that's going to allow you to keep your hands in front of your hips, just like with a more traditional dip bar that you're going to see in your gym. It's going to keep your shoulder in a safer position, still going to allow you to overload the triceps and get a lot out of the exercise. So thanks, Shanti, for the question. I hope this answers it, and hopefully this will give you some things to work on with your tricep training at home while you're working out of your home gym. If any of you have any questions on any home-based exercises, on alternatives to exercises, on just on anything that I can do to help you to provide some content with what you're doing at your home through your home-based fitness program, feel free to shoot out a comment in the comments below these videos on my social media. Email me at scott@eptsgym.com or direct message me through any of my social media, and I'll be happy to make a video response or a podcast or even write a blog just to get an answer to your questions. And also, if you've got any great alternatives to dips or tricep training or any other home-based exercise, leave those in the comments below so that we can share some information with each other, which would be an awesome way to share ideas that have worked for you on these exercises that you're doing at home. So again, hopefully you like this video. It's the next one in the series that I've been putting together, trying to get these out every day so that I can provide some content for you guys while you're stuck training at home and out of your home gym. So again, if you got any questions, send those to me. Any ideas for any content for future episodes, send those to me, and I'll be happy to start working on those and get them out. And until next time, stay strong and stay healthy.